If you can't have a conversation, if you can't handle that amount of tenseness, which is not much, with a fucking Uber driver, like, you're gonna go negotiate multi-million-dollar contracts now successfully? If you go around this crazy world and try to fucking please other people, and you deserve what's gonna happen to you. Anybody dumb enough to go around this world and try to please these fucking imbeciles out here, you deserve what's gonna happen. Especially after hearing that and intellectually knowing better. If you don't have the emotional fortitude to tolerate that social pressure, women aren't gonna like you. High quality men are not gonna like you. You're just gonna be stuck with a bunch of fucking peasants out there that are confused and, virtue signaling and looking at each other. It's like, I did all the stuff they said I'm supposed to do. Why don't I have any of the good stuff? I did everything the fucking TV said I was supposed to do. I did everything my teacher said I was supposed to do. Why didn't I get any of the good stuff? So you're going to be confused, intellectually knew better, could have done tremendously better, and chose to go along with the crowd, go along with absurd. These aren't even social norms. The things that are purported to be social norms are perverse distortions of reality. They're anti-human, they're anti-science. The so-called party of science at the moment hates science. They hate math. If that's not enough evidence for you, you're a fucking idiot, and you should never have been born from your mother's ass. Should never fallen out of your mother's ass if you believe that. So I mean, you're being fucked. It's the ultimate scam in human history because it's done on a larger scale than could ever be done before. Because of technology. Because communication is quicker than it's ever been in human history. And they're propagating absurdities and nonsense. So if you're not going to tolerate the social pressure of saying no to that, of saying fuck that, I'm gonna live a different type of life, then okay. And by the way, you're gonna forego the relationships, the friendships, the alliances that would have helped you be extremely happy and self-sufficient. You're gonna get farther and farther away from those things until there's no coming back. Until you've so alienated yourself from those type of people, they'd never spend a moment of their time with you. They'd never give you another thought. So that's the price you're gonna pay. You're smart enough to know better. Most of you are smart enough to know better. And if not, then I'd be wasting my fucking voice trying to help you anyway. If you're too fucking stupid to know that, which I doubt, by the way, I think you're smart enough to know better. If you're too fucking stupid, then I'm wasting my time and you're a hopeless case anyway. But I think you're smart enough to know better. And it's up to you if you're going to tolerate some short-term social pressure. You might lose your job. You might lose your job. You might not be able to get a different job. Because your fucking brain works. Not because you're a bad guy, not because you're stupid. Quite the opposite, because your brain actually works. And you're not willing to ignore reality and go along with these absurdities. And I'll tell you what, if you don't want to do that, if you want to go along with the flow, folks, any of you that just want to go along with the nonsense that you see in television, go marry a woman who's going to take half of your shit or more. No worries. Go be politically correct. If you value political correctness over factual correctness, nothing good can come from that. Nothing. So, that's the rant of this weekend so far, and it's the most important decision you're going to make in your entire life. It's the most important decision you'll make in your entire life. And anybody here who's annoyed by me droning on about that, fuck you. I wouldn't pay a nickel for your future. I wouldn't pay 5 cents for your future if you don't get that message and take it to heart. Nobody should pay a fucking nickel for your future if you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying and understand it's the most important decision you're going to make in your life. And you're forced to make it real soon, like now. The sooner you make that decision, it's like you're going to have a lot more ease in the world. You're going to be rejected, you're going to be shunned from what people purport to be social norms. The media is perverting social norms in a way that no society in history could have functioned behaving this way. No society in the future can function well behaving that way. It's not polite to go along with silliness that you're told you're supposed to do that defies common sense, reason, logic. It's not polite. It's not polite to perpetuate that nonsense. And anybody that prefers some fake altered reality over objective reality, I mean, there is something called objective reality. Now, your senses can't perceive that precisely. This is an old philosophic issue that there is, in Kantian language, in 1800s German language, there is the thing in itself, the object in its objective way of being. And, you're limited by your, sight and touch and sound and so on. And, you can't see very well in infrared, can you? And your body's probably not so great at picking up microwave. If you're feeling a microwave, you're probably being burnt. It's not a good thing. So, you have sensual limitations as a human that prohibit you from understanding everything there is to know about objective reality, let alone recognizing it in real time. All right? But any person that has any respect for wisdom or intelligence, the word philosophy is a love of wisdom or love of knowledge. Philosophia is a love of knowledge, love of wisdom. So it's a seeking for truth, if you will. And anybody that prefers to have a distorted, less accurate view rather than a more precise and more accurate view of something, they do so to their own long-term detriment. You can ignore reality in the short term, but in the long term, you cannot avoid the consequences of ignoring reality. Reality will persist longer than your delusion. So I don't want to perpetuate those delusions. When I talk the way that I have the last couple of days, I know damn well that I alienate people in the room. But that wasn't going to be my new best friend. That wasn't going to be somebody, I couldn't give a shit if they were my client in the future or not. If I'm saying something that's deeply offensive to someone, I'd prefer not to spend time with someone like that. I'd be delighted to never see them again in my life. I hope they tell their friends I'm a bad guy. It'll actually help my sales, and it'll actually help me meet the people that I would like to meet. I'd love it if you go tell your friends I'm a bad guy. Anybody who disagrees strongly or say, gosh, he's too dark. Gosh, he's mean. Gosh, what about love and freedom and stupid hippie shit and damn the consequences of my future? I care more about your future than you do for many of you. I'm more concerned about your future than many of you are. And if you're not doing people a favor, look, it's not my fucking goal to go save the world or educate the fucking world about the virtues of capitalism or something. But anybody I'm going to spend time with, capitalism shouldn't be a controversial idea, or things like math. 2 + 2 = 4 should not be a controversial idea. So, somebody that thinks that way, I'd be delighted to have them far away from me and keep anyone else that appreciates their worldview more than mine. I'd like them to keep those people far away from me too. Tell the world, Derek thinks 2 + 2 = 4. So you can't do that. I was talking to one of my buddies earlier. I had a lot of friends that are athletes. I've never been a real athlete. I was okay at basketball. I never was a real athlete, But one of my buddies I was talking to, he was a Division I baseball player. And we were talking about some things of this nature where, in sports, you can't have delusions like that and perform well. You got to go train your ass off. You got to work harder than anybody else and have some natural talent. That's you're not going to pay. You can't be a D1 anything, Division I athlete, let alone a professional athlete. Carrying a bunch of delusions and nonsense in your head. What would happen in an MMA fight for some guy that used the secret and been doing a lot of daydreaming instead of fucking training and getting choked and getting his ears roughed up?
They're just going to get the shit kicked out of them if they don't just give up before the fighting starts.
It'd be wise for him to give up. It'd be wise for him to have a moment of reason and be, you know what, I shouldn't go in that ring right now. This isn't going to end well. It'd be wise for them to give up before they started in that context, They might have a concussion they never quite heal from. Likely will. Maybe in a few seconds. Probably in a few seconds. So you can't ignore the consequences of. You can ignore reality in the short term. You can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So anybody I want to spend time with, male or female. We're going to talk about, there should be a seeking of truth. There should be, any of my friends, people that know me the best in here, they know they could come talk to me and say, show me a better path than I'm currently on, and I'd be very open-minded to hearing about it. I'd be very delighted. This is what the whole mastermind group is for. That's why we have a mastermind. You're on those calls with me. I'm delighted to learn things on those calls. When I'm talking to the public, then, in the context here, I'm supposed to be in charge of the room. On Sunday, after other people, when we're just with the mastermind group and the people that are on multiple programs, the committed and dedicated people, we can talk about business and finance. And man, I'd love to hear you folks talk more than me, I really appreciate it. You know how I am on those calls. I am that way. Some people here don't know me yet. But so they just hear this grumpiness, But yeah, I mean, if you people that want to deny that, people that want to engage in these fantasies, it's going to be bad. You're only going to be alive so long. It's going to be bad. So it takes a lot of effort to learn something new. It takes a lot of effort to develop a skill set. It takes about 10,000 hours to be great at anything. And the longer you procrastinate, you do so to your own detriment, So I don't know, man. I don't think you're doing yourself or anybody else a favor. What you're calling it being polite, I would say in many cases, it's not a matter of politeness or not. It's that, you're at that moment, you don't feel like tolerating the social pressure of maybe having friction with others. Maybe somebody gives you a funny look, and then you think about it during the day, and it rattles around in your head, and you find it to be a distraction. Maybe somebody says something, contrary to. Maybe somebody else is a little aggressive or assertive with you, and not that it's going to be a violent thing, but it just rattles around in your head and makes you feel uncomfortable for the day. It's like, oh, that old lady judged me negatively, or oh, that young man judged me negatively, or whatever, And analyze it for yourself, but I've had those thoughts in the past when I was younger, and I have extremely few of them now, and I laugh at myself when I do. I suspect you might still be having some of those type of thoughts that more than a matter of, politeness, it's I would call it a agreeableness to avoid some of those frictions, right? And then also, it's if you're not tolerating social pressure every day, again, you do that to your own detriment. It's very much in your favor to have a couple social pressure moments per day. Being disagreeable. That doesn't mean that you're being proactively inciting nastiness or something, being proactively nasty to others. But I'm very happy to be disagreeable a few times a day. And what that does for your negotiation abilities, it's costing you millions of dollars in your lifetime to be hesitant to be disagreeable with somebody. Little things like, if you ordered something you didn't get what you wanted at a restaurant, you should tell the staff. Doesn't mean you have to be mean about it, but you should tell the staff, this is not what I ordered. Would you bring me the thing that I ordered, please? Or today I had an Uber. The guy took 2 wrong turns, not 1, 2, on his way to come pick me up. And then he says, traffic. I said, no, you took wrong turns. So you took 2 wrong turns. So I'm watching the GPS. You took 2 wrong turns, and now I'm getting to my destination 20 minutes late. So I'm not a fan of that. So most people wouldn't say anything. Most people would just go along with it. I'd rather say that and have a moment of tension, knowing we're going to sit in a vehicle for 20 minutes, knowing we're going to hang out for the next 20 minutes after I'm proactively disagreeable about it. The person's lying to me. I see that he's lying to me. Now, if you can't have a conversation, if you can't handle that amount of tenseness, which is not much, with a fucking Uber driver, like, you're going to go negotiate multi-million-dollar contracts now successfully? You're going to go negotiate $1 billion deal someday successfully? You're going to go negotiate yourself out of a violent situation when some fucking street punk tries to fucking attack you, totally inappropriately? You're going to be up for that negotiation if you can't have a little tension with the Uber driver? You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm trying to be a proactively nasty person with society. I'm really not. I'm really not thinking about most of them at all. And to the extent that I am, I generally wish them well. And I'd be delighted to meet some people that are ambitious like most of you. Be delighted to meet some more people like that. But you have to weed through them. You have to have an effective process to weed through those people, and the people that like you are going to be excited and delighted. They'll indicate to you that they like you, and they're going to be excited and delighted to meet you, and it's going to be naturally easy. And the people that don't like you, would you rather have people that are going to waste your time? How long should you know these people before you get rid of them? We better to know them for years, months. I'd like to never meet them to begin with. So when I quite literally say, when I say, hey, tell your friends what a bad guy I am, that'd be great. If your friends agree with this stupid shit, I'd love to never meet them. It'd be the best possible outcome for me. I'd love to never meet them. I'd love to spend zero time with them. None.
Personal accountability is huge. You have to be willing to hold yourself accountable and know exactly what you want in order to take yourself up to the next level. It's the difference between, failing and succeeding, or putting up and shutting up. The second thing I learned was that most silly humans out there, they think emotionally. They don't plan strategically. They don't look at things objectively. You have to be able to do that in order to get yourself on the right track and actually be successful. You got to find mentors. You got to find accountability partners. You got to find people that are on the same level with you so that you can level yourself up. Just in the 3 weeks I've been in this program, it's absolutely bolstered my confidence and my performance. My output's been higher. It's completely changed my frame around, and it's just taken me to the next level. My recommendation for you guys, if you're going to commit to a program like this, be sure you're ready to put up. It's not for people that are half in. It's not for people that are kind of looking for the answers. You can have the best coach in the world, but if you're not willing to put in the effort, you're not going to get very far. Be ready to work your ass off.
If you didn't like this video, please feel free to unfollow. My clients and I celebrate when the wrong person leaves our lives. But if you did like this video, if you're a person that's dedicated to success, dedicated to a better life, make sure you like and subscribe. I have a lot more to share with you. I look forward to seeing you at one of my live events in the future, or as a client on one of my paid mentoring programs.